Welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to unpack the unconventional and honestly brilliant reasons why Warren Buffett intentionally hoards a massive stash of cash. On Wall Street, uninvested money is usually seen as dead weight, right? Just dragging down your portfolio. But we're going to see exactly how Buffett flips that script and turns cash into a highly strategic, incredibly potent weapon.
Okay, let's dive right into this almost incomprehensible number. We're talking about over $150 billion, and lately, it's been creeping well past that, just sitting securely in Berkshire Hathaway's bank accounts. It's a record-high cash reserve that genuinely leaves millions of everyday retail investors completely scratching their heads. Just trying to visualize a mountain of cash that large is tough, let alone logically understanding why it's just sitting there seemingly doing absolutely nothing.
Because, naturally, when you see this much uninvested cash, you probably assume the Oracle of Omaha is making a colossal mistake. You look at the economy and you think, well, inflation is literally eating away his purchasing power by the second. You think this massive cash drag is severely hurting his overall performance during a booming market. And honestly, that is exactly what conventional finance textbooks warn you not to do.
So let's get into Pillar 1, redefining cash.
To Buffett, cash absolutely isn't just some basic safety net you fall back on when things get rough. No, he views it as a highly dynamic financial instrument, but you have to fundamentally understand how to use it. Think about standard financial options. They give you the right to buy something, sure, but they cost money up front to hold, and they have strict expiration dates. If you don't use it, you lose it. But Buffett, he views his cash mountain as a never-expiring call option. It costs him practically nothing to hold, it never expires, and it lets him strike and scoop up premium assets at a massive discount exactly when the perfect moment arrives.
As Buffett himself notes, cash combined with courage in a crisis is priceless. While everyone else in the market is getting swept up in the nonstop bull run, stretching their capital to the absolute limit and locking up every spare dime, his strategy is completely different. His cash mountain ensures he maintains total, unrestricted strategic flexibility when the music finally stops playing and everyone else is left powerless.
Which brings us to Pillar 2, the power play.
This is where we see the historical action of how Buffett literally weaponizes market panics. He steps in as the ultimate lender of last resort. When a major recession hits, market liquidity just evaporates. We're talking about a terrifying scenario where banks stop lending, stock prices plummet into the ground, and even rock-solid multi-billion-dollar companies face existential panic because they literally cannot roll over their short-term debt. When that systemic fear sets in across Wall Street, that's when Buffett's phone starts ringing off the hook, because he has immediate, liquid cash ready to deploy as the ultimate savior. Just think back to the 2008 Great Recession, and then again in 2011. Desperate titans of Wall Street were practically begging for lifelines, and Buffett stepped in. He deployed billions of his hoarded cash into giants like Goldman Sachs, General Electric, and Bank of America. He essentially acted as a one-man central bank, simply because he was holding the one thing they desperately needed.
And here's the kicker. He didn't just log into a brokerage account and buy regular shares like the rest of us. He dictated ruthless, legendary, and highly lucrative terms. He demanded preferred stock, a guaranteed 10% dividend just for showing up, and free warrants that let him buy regular shares at rock-bottom prices long after the crisis ended. It is an absolute masterclass in using cash as leverage.
All right, let's look at Pillar 3, the defense.
Let's walk through the darker side of a downturn, which ties directly into Buffett's famous rule number 1, never lose money. Imagine an investor who has fully bought into the market hype, right? 0% in cash reserves. When a recession inevitably strikes, life happens. Suddenly, they need liquidity. They become entirely powerless, forced to liquidate their portfolio at the absolute market bottom, taking a 40% loss or worse just to cover basic bills.
This exact scenario leads to what the finance world calls permanent capital destruction. It's the unrecoverable loss of your investment capital precisely because you were a forced seller during a crash. You lock in those massive losses forever, completely severing your ability to recover when the market eventually bounces back. Buffett intentionally hoards his cash cushion to make Berkshire Hathaway mathematically bulletproof against this exact nightmare.
His ultimate goal is brilliantly simple: outlast any market downturn and keep that compound interest engine running completely uninterrupted. By holding enough cash, he guarantees his companies will never, ever be forced sellers. No matter how violently the economic storm rages outside his office window, he can sit comfortably knowing his downside is 100% protected and his portfolio just keeps compounding.
Let's bring this home with the resolution, your strategy.
The sheer genius of this strategy isn't just for billionaires. It challenges everyday investors, like us, to stop looking at cash as a drag. There's this pervasive myth that cash is dead money or wasted potential during a boom. But the reality? Cash is your personal shield. It's your personal opportunity fund. It gives you the deep psychological peace of mind you need so you don't become a forced seller, and it gives you the immense courage to act aggressively when everyone else is running for the exits in a panic.
Buffett deeply understands the psychology of investing. As he famously put it, the market is a machine that transfers wealth from the impatient to the patient. But let's be real, it is incredibly hard to be patient when you are terrified. Absolutely nothing buys you the luxury of patience and a clear head quite like a healthy, highly accessible pile of cash. So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought to reflect on right now. What percentage of your portfolio is currently in cash? Take a hard, honest look at your own investment strategy and ask yourself how mathematically bulletproof you truly are. When the next major crisis inevitably hits, are you going to be a powerless forced seller, or will you be the one holding the most powerful strategic weapon in the entire market? Keep that in mind as you map out your financial future.